Hi everyone. Very recently, I have finished reading this book, Frankenstein, and today I thought of today only I have finished reading this book, and I thought of recording a very honest review, or just share my thoughts. Of what how do I feel, or what is it exactly that I think about when I think about this book now. So the very first thought that comes now after finishing reading this book, when I think about it, is like uh, I've just finished reading this one, and the thoughts, everything that has happened, or that is the story about, still whirling round and round in my mind. So in short, ये story ये है कि एक साइंटिस्ट है फ्रैंकेस्टाइन नाम का, एंड दैट साइंटिस्ट he reaches the utmost limit of science, the peak of science, and um, peak of his peak of the knowledge of science, and he conceives an idea. He conceives or imagines that now, if he can revive dead bodies to life, if he can give life to dead bodies, then he can he can become, or he can gift humanity an eternal gift, and that is the gift of immortality. So, with this thought, this scientist, Frankenstein, this novel was written by Mary Shelley, and it was named after, Frankenstein is the name of that scientist, and the novel was named after this scientist himself. So, after conceiving the idea, the thought of creating a life, creating something out of the dead bodies, he starts working on it, and with immense dedication and immense labor, he finally gives life. He was successful in reviving the dead bodies, in reviving dead bodies into giving them life. And he created of a creature who is just like human beings, uh, with the reasoning ability and with all the emotions and feelings that human beings feel. But what happens ultimately is this being, this creature that he gives life to, ends up destroying his loved ones, eventually ends up murdering all of them, and Frankenstein eventually dies a very painful death. There were a lot of things happened in the middle. This creature, one by one, kills his beloved, his family members, his loved ones, the closest people to him, and he was rendered so miserable. He was he was one of the most unhappiest creature or in this world, after giving life to this flesh, giving life to this creature in his own image, I would say. So he was devastated, and he was actually, towards the end of this novel, he was um, thinking of revenging. So he was full of the idea of vengeance, that now he was so determined to destroy his own making, his own creature. But he this creature was somehow filled with some supernatural powers. This creature was more powerful than a normal human being. He could, within a within a flash, he could reach mountains, and he could climb mountains, and he could also go to sea, and he will fly away just like that. So in the speed of light, he moved from one place to another place. So this man was very powerful, in fact, and became the cause of his own destruction. So this is what this story is about. Frankenstein, a scientist who created someone, who created or who gave life to the who gathered dead bodies and gave life unto them, and created a creature or a being who eventually turned out to be the reason, the cause of his own destruction. So that is Frankenstein, and it is also called modern Prometheus. There is a title, इसका और एक alternative title नाम है, वो है the modern Prometheus. So Prometheus is again एक mythological creature है in Greco-Roman mythologies. ग्रीक्स और रोमन्स के जो मिथोलॉजी है, आई फॉरगॉट एग्जैक्टली विच मिथोलॉजी, ग्रीक और रोमन, बट इनके एक मिथोलॉजी में प्रोमेथस नाम का एक मिथिकल कैरेक्टर है जो जिसके कुछ एक्शन के वजह से वो उसने खुद का ही डिस्ट्रक्शन, खुद को ही डिस्ट्रॉय किया था इसका, या डिस्ट्रक्शन को इनवाइट किया था। सो उसी के लिए इस फ्रैंकेनस्टाइन को ऑल्टरनेटिवली नाम दिया गया कि द मॉडर्न प्रोमेथस। सो ये बेसिकली मैसेज यही देता है कि द ओवर रीचिंग, यहाँ पे लिखा ही है, द ओवर रीचिंग ऑफ मैन, ह्यूमन बींग्स. So we are reaching at the peak of science, at the peak of knowledge, and nowadays we can say at the peak of technology and sciences. And because of this, this is a kind of a warning to all humankind, all human beings, that because of our excessive knowledge and the misuse of those knowledge, we will eventually call destruction on ourselves. And that is what exactly happened to this scientist Frankenstein. This is a, I would say, a very fascinating read. To some extent, it remained very, very interesting. Again, there were paragraphs. If I talk about honestly, there were some words that occurred very, very repeated, that were very repeated, that were recurring in this novel, like hideous, archer, arduous journey, hideous fiend. This character he called, this character whom he created, Frankenstein created, he hatefully called him fiend when he was so disgusted, when he was so when he realized that this creature turned out to be the cause of his destruction. And in fact, this creature can now cause harm and will cause harm to all the human beings. When he realized that, he abhorred means so disliked this character of his, this creation of his own making. So Frankenstein died a very horrible, very painful death, and because of his own ambition. So that is what this piece is about. It is a kind of a warning to human beings that be ambitious, but not to the extent that you call your own destruction, and you die a miserable death eventually. So that is what happened to Frankenstein, the scientist. And this novel is a wonderful piece. I would say is a wonderful read. It's a very engaging read. If you because there is this monster, he repeatedly calling his creature monsters. There were conversations between Frankenstein and this monster, and he is killing his family members one after another, his friends, his brothers and sisters, cousins, so all of them. And like that, it is like it also appears like a ghost story. So it is also in the cover page, in the back cover, if you see, there is a review or something, a note written. So here you also, as I read, that it is also filled with, it has a little, Gothic element in this novel. So it will, at times, it will feel like, what is it? It is full of horror and dark events. So overall, this is a fascinating book. You must read if you want to enjoy something different. And this is also a scientific novel, as it is about a scientist. So that's about Frankenstein. And there were, as I said, a couple of words that were I found to be very recurring. There were a couple of, not a couple of, but there were words which were coming again and again. So that thing might, but that can be a distinguished marker, that if you put these words, or if you can ask someone that these are the words, guess the name of the novel or the book these are coming from. So that's my thought about it. Now I'm still wondering how to if somebody asks me how do you summarize this, or how do there's no one conclusion to this, or no one assessment. There could be multiple ways, multiple perspectives of seeing this, of looking at this. But for now, these are my thoughts about this book. And after reading this, you will many things will keep coming in your head, will go whirling round and round. So I'm still trying to process this. I've just finished reading it, and if I come with any other thoughts regarding this, I'll definitely share. So do read Frankenstein if you want to read something very different. I would say, if you want to read something mind blowing or something like that. So if you are expecting a very smooth, beautiful, that kind of reading, or not really smooth, but if you want uh, a very, or say just reading for entertainment or something like that, then this is not the thing. But if you want something, if you want a thought provoking thing, or if you want something, some cringe or a thriller reading, then this is good to go. And this is, I would say, go to piece. So do read if you want to get the thrill, and if you also want to understand something regarding the high ambition or aspiration of men, and what, where it can eventually lead us to. So we should try to relate this novel with our modern, with our own situations in the 21st century, in 2026, and see how we can relate Frankenstein, and what lessons or morals we can draw from this particular novel. So overall, it's a very brilliant piece, I would say. So that's all. Do read Frankenstein if you want to read something different. Thank you.